Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Rachel and I am knitting. Not right now, but most of the time, and I have been knitting, so let me tell you all about it. Today's video is episode 11 of the Rachel is Knitting podcast, which is a series of videos where I tell you all about my knitting shenanigans, etc. and stuff. So let's get into it. Of course, I have my notes for today's episode in my knitting journal, which, as I told you in, I think, last week's episode, I basically have abandoned using for anything but my YouTube video notes. So it is what it is, and it's still getting use, and that's what we should focus on. So let's get going and jump right into the project updates section of the podcast. So I have a few exciting updates to share with you, some of which are just really small updates, so I suppose I should do those first. The first project update is my field day cardigan. So in last week's episode, I was wearing this. It was essentially a finished object, except it didn't have buttons sewn on, and the update is I sewed the buttons on that same day. I'm having issues, again, finding the correct buttonhole. I sewed the buttons on Sunday, and then I wore this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. By Friday, I had pivoted to wearing the champagne cardigan, but yeah, I finished this on Sunday by sewing the buttons on. I mentioned that I was going with these estate sale buttons, and they've been perfect. I think they look really good with the sweater. They really just, I don't know, button it up, for lack of a better pun. But I'm really happy with this finished item. I plan to film the FO diary for this sweater later this week, so hopefully that will go up shortly, either this week or next week by the time you're seeing this. Basically, if you're not familiar, an FO diary is a video where I deep dive into my progress or my process of knitting a garment or an item or whatever it is. So I'll be filming that and going really in depth in what I loved about knitting that pattern, what I didn't love, what I would change if I knit it again. I should say when I knit it again, because I do have plans to knit the field day at least a second time, if not a third or fourth time. So that gives you a little idea of how much I enjoyed that pattern. But yeah, keep your eyes out for the FO diary field day installment. I'm really excited to walk you through my process of knitting that because it was kind of a doozy. There were some ups and downs. So I'll go over all of that in the FO diary. Keep an eye out for that. But there's an update on the field day cardigan. Officially a finished object with the addition of those buttons. The next update is another finished object. I showed you the Cesium Scarf last week. This was a test knit that I did for Kat and Penny Strickland of Cesium Yarn. This is a customizable pattern. You can use a variety of yarn weights. I used worsted for my test, and I wove in the ends and steam blocked it. So this is another finished object. In last week's podcast, I mentioned that I want to dye this with Kool-Aid, and I asked you to let me know if you thought that would be interesting to watch, if you wanted to see the process, and a few of you said yes. So I will be dyeing this with Kool-Aid. This is just natural Cascade 220 non-superwash. It will take dye beautifully, I'm assuming. So I'll take you along for that process when I get to it, dyeing this with Kool-Aid. But the Cesium Scarf is done. I knit this in or over a 24-hour period, and it was really quick, really fun, really satisfying knit. So there's the update on the Cesium Scarf. That's all finished with the ends woven in and a steam block, and I'll take you along for the ride when I dye it with Kool-Aid. The next project that I want to update you on is my Kal Cardigan. Okay, so a little bit of recap on the Kal Cardigan. A few weeks ago, I swatched on 6mm needles in the Malabrigo Rios colorway. The most gorgeous yarn ever. My stitch gauge was way off, as was my row gauge, but I'm most concerned with my stitch gauge. So I got another colorway of Rios that I had in my stash. I swatched it up, and this gauge was more in line with the pattern gauge. I think in the pattern it says 18 stitches over 4 inches, and this swatch in the gray Rios, I got 17 stitches over 4 inches. But even though I swatched twice, I cast on a size that does not really line up with my swatch gauge. Basically, after the field day cardigan situation, which like I said, I'll go over in more detail, but the garment is much larger than my swatch would have led me to believe. So I've kind of come to the conclusion that I swatch tighter than I actually knit on the finished garment. This is despite knowing that I need to make a bigger swatch, cast on more stitches than the pattern says to cast on for the swatch. This is also despite trying to be really mindful of how I'm forming the stitches when I'm swatching to make sure that it's like real life, representative of how I really knit. So like for whatever reason, whatever assemblage of factors, I'm swatching tighter than I'm actually knitting. So I decided, listen, the Kal Cardigan is worsted weight. I'm knitting it up in Malabrigo Rios, what that first swatch is that I showed you. It's a colorway called Pisces, which is apparently limited edition. I got my sweater quantity from Cesium Yarn Co. They were a brick and mortar store on Orcas Island, but now I think they're exclusively online. That's where I got this Malabrigo Rios Pisces. Anyway, the whole point of this story is I made an educated guess for what size to cast on, knowing that I probably am swatching tighter than I will actually end up knitting, and I just cast on. I cast on size, I want to say 4, either 4 or 5, whichever is the purple size, in the Kal Cardigan, and I think other patterns by Perfectly Knotted Claire Jackson. Each size is color coded, so I'm making the purple size. I think it's 4. It might be 5, one of the two. So I cast on and I knit essentially a whole skein's worth, and then I put it on knit extension cords, which is basically hollow rubber or silicone tubing. Put all of the live stitches on that, and I wet blocked it. I fully wet blocked it, laid it flat to dry, and then I measured my gauge. So if I remember correctly, my gauge is about 15 3/4 to 16 stitches over 4 inches. So I'm happy that I cast on the size I did. I think that this will be perfect. It will end up being around 55, 56 inches, which is what I wanted. So I'm really happy with that. There have been some ups and downs knitting this so far that are not due to anyone's error or oversight but my own. Isn't that fun to realize? But yeah, I'm making really good progress. So here's my Kal Cardigan. I have basically I'm working on the front left panel right now, and the back part and the front right part are on those knit extension cords like I mentioned, and these are the ones on my needles, just this right front or right left panel. Right front left panel. Oh, yes, words are so hard to say correctly. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I am, I think, on row 21 or 22 of 38 rows for this panel before I move on. So I'm gonna check, make sure that this will have a deep enough armhole before I move on. I don't really know, where I'm going. I'm just trusting the pattern. But I can conceptualize that right now I'm knitting down the front left, then I'll probably knit down the front right, then the back panel, and then, I'll join because the armhole depth will be complete and I'll finish the body, etc., etc. You get the idea. But that is the progress. I am a little over a skein in. I'm currently alternating skeins as well because I joined in a new skein and there was just like too much blue compared to how much in the skein I had previously been working with. Like I didn't alternate at all for that first bit. And here, maybe you can kind of tell, like this is from, this portion here is from the first skein, and then this part is alternating. It's, I don't know, it's kind of hard to wrangle and show you, but I think it is blending okay and it will be fine. But there's an update on the Kal Cardigan. That has been a really nice knit. That has been kind of like my evening knit. Like I work on some more like pressing projects throughout the daytime, and then in the evening time I get to play with the Pisces yarn, which I love so much. So that's been nice. It's been knitting up fast. I hope that it continues to do so because, you know, like so many people, I have so many projects I want to knit and I want to make, and there's just not enough time in the day. So it's really gratifying and feels really good when a project feels like it's flying, and that's been my experience so far with the Kal Cardigan. So I'm really liking that. There's your update. Maybe by next week's podcast, I will have, I don't know, finished it completely. Probably not. That's like way too ambitious, but I don't know. I'm excited to show you where I am next week. Hopefully I will have made some really good progress. So there we go on the Kal Cardigan. And the next project that I want to show you my update on is my Azucena. So this is going slower than the Kal Cardigan. This is one strand of fingering weight held with one strand of lace weight. So yeah, it's slower going, but I have separated for the sleeves. Ah, yay! And not only that, I've gotten a few inches, maybe 4 inches, 3-4 inches from sleeve separation. So I am solidly working through the body. When I was thinking about my progress on this, I was thinking about modifying it to have short sleeves, but I just don't think that would be the most wearable option because it is going to be pretty warm, I think. The stitches are nice and compact, and it's not like an airy, breathable fabric. So as tempting as it is to modify this to have shorter sleeves, I am going to you know, persevere and keep trucking away at knitting this. I think I'm going to keep knitting this a little bit every day until it's done. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it in the knit along time frame, but it is really nice and really gratifying to be on the body portion of this knit. I think there will be more color work at the hem, so right now I'm just enjoying and savoring the simple stockinette in the round with one color. But yeah, some good progress on that. So that means since last week's update, had I finished the yoke by last week? I can't remember, but certainly a lot of good progress. I think maybe I had just separated the sleeves. I don't know, it doesn't matter, not important, but all that to say, good progress on this pattern. And even though it's a lot slower going than some of the other patterns I've been working on, it's really, I think it's going to be super wearable. So, you know, hang in there to myself and keep going because I'll get a lot of use out of this when it is finished. And I think it will be a great pattern to wear in Ireland as well on those really like cold, chilly, blustery days. I think it will just be perfect. So there's your update on the Azucena. And I have only one more project to update you on. Can you believe it? This I'll tell you more about in the acquisition section. But I got a sweater quantity in the mail from Lauren of Treehouse Knits. This is, oh, it's so pretty. This, let's see, is it focusing? This color is called Don't Be a Pageant Mom, and it's on Lauren's Cashmere Elm DK base, which is not a base that I've worked with before, but oh my gosh, it's so soft. The yardage is the same as Dove DK, which is the base I made my field day cardigan in, but it is noticeably softer than Dove DK, which is saying a lot, because if you've worked with Lauren's Dove DK base, it's a three ply DK weight base, and it's so plump and so soft and so squishy. So for something to be softer than that is like really saying something. So this Cashmere Elm base, I'm really, really happy with it. I'm working on the Isa cardigan. I forget the pattern designer's name. I think her Instagram handle is Vert and Rose, maybe. I'll fact check myself and put the designer name on the screen. But I'm making the Isa cardigan. It's a DK weight cardigan with this really pretty lace panel detail on either side of the cardigan where it opens up. Oh, it's just gorgeous. And I think that this icy purple is perfect for this pattern. The pattern itself is like kind of giving me some heartache, just how it's formatted. It's not really like the experience of going from page 2 to page 6 or like whatever number, like having to jump several pages on a digital pattern to look at the instructions for the button band and then the lace panels and then back and forth, is not something I'm enjoying. But I think that the finished product is going to be so gorgeous that I'm trying to just get over it. But I won't. I'll keep telling you all about it, I'm sure. I'll keep belly aching, but again, like with the Kal Cardigan, I basically knit a whole skein's worth. I knit a whole skein's worth. Listen, I would not do this with fingering weight yarn or lace weight yarn, probably not even sport weight yarn. Like that, what in the world? I would not be doing that. But DK weight, worsted weight, knitting up a skein, it's okay. Like, it's okay. I don't know. Maybe doing the DK weight one was really biting off more than I could chew, but I just wanted to. I had just knit the field day. I feel like I could make an educated guess, even though this is with a different needle size. I'm knitting this on US size 7. But yeah, listen, we're just trying it. And if I have to learn the hard way that I shouldn't do this, then that's my lesson to learn. And you have to let me learn it. Okay. You can't change me. Okay, so anyway, that's for anyone who's like getting really upset about this idea because, you know, I don't know, maybe you are. But if you are, it's okay. I promise I'll be okay. Even if this goes badly, like life will go on, the world will keep spinning, and I'll just learn a hard lesson. It will be okay. But yeah, there's my update on this project. I cast this on, when did I cast this on? I don't know, sometime this week. I want to say maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. But yeah, I'm enjoying this despite some of the issues with the user-friendly nature or non-nature of the pattern. And this is a bottom-up cardigan, which has its own list of reasons to, I don't know, go in mindfully. But anyway, the color's beautiful and we can focus on that, plus the softness of the Cashmere Elm DK weight. That's all the knitting that I've done this week. I told you about the Kal Cardigan, the Azucena, the Cesium Scarf, the Isa cardigan. Yeah, that's all the knitting I've done this week. I am noticing a gap in my knitting projects. Like, okay, I have so many projects. There are so many whips that I've never even shown on the podcast because they predate the podcast. But if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know about them. Like my Daft Days cardigan, my Stria cardigan, my, oh my gosh, what else do I have? I have just like a whole crap load of stuff. But that's what I worked on this week. And also, I have noticed that I need to cast on a purse project. I need a portable 1, 2, 3 skein project that I don't have to look at the pattern for. It is grab and go. It can live in my purse and is ready whenever I'm out and about, like if we are going to get groceries and DJ's driving, or if we're going to visit his parents, or like whatever. I just have it in my purse and it's ready to go. So I do need to figure that out. Some options that I have been thinking about for that, this skein here, this lighter skein on the top row of my yarn wall, this is an alpaca sport yarn from Treehouse Knits from her winter tonals, and I want to make a one skein version of the simple thing, which is a free Sophie scarf dupe, and it's perfect. Like there's literally no reason to pay for the Sophie scarf, in my opinion. I mean, I've never seen the pattern, so maybe it's amazing once you download it and look at it, but the simple thing is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's essentially the same thing as the Sophie scarf, okay? Sorry. And the Sophie shawl. So, and I have a whole FO diary going over that, which is which side of the screen will it be on? I'm going to figure this out. I think it's on this side of the screen. Might be on this side of the screen. I'll put a card up so you can see. But yeah, I'm thinking I could make a one skein version of the simple thing. Also, this purple yarn, I have 3 skeins of it. It's from Sam of Clockwork Fiber Co. It's her Yak DK base. I think that would also make a beautiful simple thing. A 3 skein version of it, like a nice drapey shawl. So one of those I'll probably cast on maybe this week, if not this week, the next week, I don't know. But yeah, I am noticing a gap in my projects because I need an on-the-go purse project. So yeah, those are the project updates and the project that I'm thinking about starting. Let's move on to my spinning section. All right, so I'm trucking along in my spinning journey. So far, I have uploaded 3 installments of my 100 Days of Spinning vlog. And I'll tell you that the last installment, the 3rd installment, which is going over days 21 through 30, is basically a 10-minute voiceover of me justifying all the days I skipped during that 10-day period. Well, guess what? Today is May 6th. I skipped May 5th. I skipped May 4th. I skipped May 3rd. I did spin on May 2nd, skipped May 1st. So today, the ball's really in my court. I may skip again. I may spin. I don't know. I won't know till the end of the day. But on May 2nd, the last day that I spun, I did spin for an hour and 15 minutes. So that was awesome. And here's my bobbin. I need to get this bobbin filled up. There's no reason why this bobbin isn't full. What is the deal? It's because I keep skipping days. Honestly, I think that I'm going to start spinning a different fiber because I think maybe my problem is I'm sick of this Corriedale. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just try it and see what happens. But there's the update on my spinning. I'm really wanting to get a battery box and a box cover from the Spinning Siren. So maybe I'll get that ordered today. They have a 2-week turnaround because everything's 3D printed. But yeah, there's the update on my spinning. And let's talk about acquisitions, because really that's all I have to say about spinning, except for an acquisition I got. So let's just transition into the acquisition section of the podcast. Okay, here we are. Look what I got. This is a box from my friend Corey. Corey and I actually became friends because we both test knit what pattern was that called? It's a pattern by Park Williams from Park and Knit. It's a turtleneck worsted weight pullover. What was that called? I don't remember what it's called, but I tested it, and that's a fact. So yeah, my friend Corey, who I met as a fellow test knitter back when I test knit garments, which is not something that I think I will ever return to doing. I don't know. I reserve the right to change my mind at any time. But anyway, my friend Corey, look what he sent me. He sent me 28 rolags from fiber that was left over from, basically he spins on, not a drop spindle. Is it called a Turkish spindle? That other kind of spindle that kind of looks like a turtle shell? He spins on those, and he made rolags with the leftover fiber that he spun. Look at that. Okay, so I don't know anything about rolags, except that you spin with them. And I think you spin long draw. I don't know. I'm counting on you to tell me in the comments. And, as a last resort, I'll do my own research. Yeah. Okay. Just kidding. Of course I will do some research. But he sent me 28 rolags along with a beautiful card. So generous. And I'm going to spin this up. Maybe I will switch to this fiber instead of the Corriedale, instead of like going to one of my merino comb tops that I have. Because Corey did say in his letter that I should not wait until I'm good enough at spinning to play with the rolags. So maybe that's what I'll pivot to. But isn't that so sweet and generous? Like, he made these. He made these. Are you hearing? He made these. Amazing. Okay, so thank you to Corey. It's not toddler shoes, he says. Not toddler shoes. Yeah. Okay, so I got some rolags that I'm going to play with. What other acquisitions did I get? Also, I got, of course, a sweater quantity of Don't Be a Pageant Mom. Let me take just a skein out to show you because I don't want to have crinkling. So I'll just take one skein out. See what I mean about this being such a beautiful icy purple? It's so gorgeous. So like I said, this is the Cashmere Elm DK, which is 246 yards per 100 grams. And it is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. It's a really luxe base. So if you've been wanting to try cashmere, I definitely think you should consider the Cashmere Elm from Treehouse Knits. It's so soft. And it's just like bouncy and airy. The Dove DK, since it's a 3-ply DK, like I said, is really plump and squishy. And this is still plump and squishy, but I'd say that it is like maybe a bit more airy, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of hard to put into words. There's like a piece of straw in this one. I love when that happens. It feels like, I don't know, I'm on Little House on the Prairie or something. But yeah, this is actually going to be available for pre-order with the Treehouse Knits Stars Hollow collection. I have an affiliate link with Treehouse Knits, so if you plan to shop, please use my link if you want. I would love if you do. And so also I should say that these skeins were sent to me as promotional materials. So I did not purchase these skeins. They were sent to me for my work as an affiliate with Treehouse Knits. So there's that acquisition. We've got the rolags, we've got the sweater quantity from Treehouse Knits. The next acquisition I'll show you is Miss Ivy Pole. Ivy like IVY. This is my Ivy pole. I mentioned it to you last week that I got an Ivy pole and it finally arrived. And okay, so the Ivy pole that I got on Amazon, $31. I thought it was going to be some cheap, flimsy plastic. This is like sturdy metal. It's heavy duty. It's the real deal, people. So I'm really glad that I got this. I got it specifically so I could hang my lemon wood and the like. I have a twice-sheared sheep and a twister as well, yarn minder. This is absolutely perfect for when I'm sitting in this desk chair or when I'm sitting in bed and knitting. Like, this is a total game changer. Or on the couch. Amazing. If you have one of these yarn winders or yarn minders and you have it on your wrist and you're sitting down, like for me, it's not the right angle. It's too low and it like twists up on itself and it's not like a good experience. I don't like using these when I'm sitting. So having these hanging on my Ivy pole is the perfect solution. And the Ivy pole is adjustable. Amazing. And there's more. I got an Ivy tray to hold notions. So there's like scissors, tape measure, stitch markers, You can see my knitting light, a random skein. It's just like the whole package. So I wheel this to the couch when I'm knitting at the couch. I wheel this back to the bedroom when I'm knitting in bed. I wheeled it into the craft room to show you, and when I'm sitting at my knitting chair, or I'm in my desk chair at my desk. Yeah, it's amazing. I highly recommend it. I felt weird about it a little bit. Like, I didn't want someone to think that I was making fun of medical equipment or needing medical equipment or like being flippant about it. So like, I hope that this is taken in the spirit that I'm giving it, which is, this is a great item, like such an important device, and it's cool to discover like another way to use it is all. I'm really amazed and excited about this, and I'm getting a lot of use out of it, and I'm just grateful to have it. So if you haven't thought about an IV pole or a coat hanger or something for holding your yarn minder, something maybe to consider. Like I said with coat hanger, like I also looked at coat racks. There are some options that have wheels, some options that have baskets at the bottom. So there's a lot of different avenues you can explore when looking for something to hold your yarn minder. This is just what I settled on, and I'm really happy with it. So there's my IV pole. It finally came. I also have one other acquisition to show you that I'm really excited about, and it is merch. I got merch. So I have, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have my merch store, my Spreadshirt merch shop, Spreadshirt shop, whatever. I have it linked to my YouTube page, so you might have seen the option to look at it before under my videos, but yay, I have some of my own. I got a sweatshirt for myself. It's purple, of course. I got a tote bag. Dun, 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 dun. I got a mug that I had my 2 cups of coffee in today. I also got this little zipper bag that I'm really excited about to use as a notions pouch, or maybe like a one skein project bag. This would be perfect for my purse project whenever I actually start it. And then I also got a little drawstring project bag. Honestly, that would probably be better for my purse project. And then last but not least, I got a ton of stickers. Rachel is knitting stickers. So most of them are my logo, but I also got this one, which you can find in my Spreadshirt shop. If it would focus, it's 2 hands knitting surrounded by like a flower halo. I also got a bunch of this version of the logo in sticker form, and some fuchsia flower stickers. All of this is available in my Spreadshirt shop. Yeah, so that's my merch. That's my acquisitions, basically the rolags, the ivy pole, the merch, and the Treehouse Knits sweater quantity. And with that, I think that's pretty much it for this week's podcast. I showed you my project updates, I showed you my spinning, I showed you my acquisitions. Yeah, there are a few other things that I want to feature on this channel and videos I want to make, but I'm not really sure how to tackle them or conceptualize them. Like, for instance, I want to go through my craft room and like offload what I don't use anymore, what I don't need. I want to organize the things I'm keeping. I want to like have a better understanding of, you know, where my stuff is, where I'm keeping my treasures. Like sometimes I know I have something, but I don't know where I put it, and I want to be better about being organized. So anyway, like, yeah, I kind of want to take you along for that journey or that ride or that experience or that organizational mountain hike, but I don't really know how to translate that into video form, or if that's even something you would want to watch. So I don't know. That's just a random thought I had. Things that I want to think about approaching with YouTube videos, but I need to think it through a little bit more. But if that's something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments, because you convinced me to show you the Kool-Aid dyeing, which I will do. So let me know if watching me clean up my junk would also be interesting to you. I don't know. Let me know. But that's all I have for this podcast. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and hit that notification bell to be notified of my next upload. Last but not least, head over to Instagram and follow me at Rachel is Knitting if you don't already. All right, I hope you have the best day ever. I hope you get lots of knitting done. I hope you get to squish yarn and have fun and enjoy life, and I'll see you next time. Bye.